Today I wanted to address a critical topic regarding practice success. So many chiropractors make a big mistake here. They think that the game of practice and indeed life is to get as much as they can as quickly as possible to have everything they need, and then they can retire early and enjoy it. Well, it sounds sensible, but it's a big mistake, especially for chiropractors. You see, chiropractors follow the law of the land rather than the law of the city. Now, the law of the city leads to all sorts of frustrations, particularly for chiropractors, because people don't get the big idea as far as they're concerned. It's just like they just don't get it. They need to get it now. I've told them, or people don't do what I tell them. They don't follow the instructions, or I'm not where I thought I'd be at this point in time, or that there's not enough. There's not enough money. There's not enough time. There's not enough patience. And so this is an outside-in phenomena, and it's about instant gratification. Okay. As every farmer knows, not giving the land what it needs, in other words, putting back into it, nurturing it, is a sure way to ensure a withering supply. On the other hand, the law of the farm sees the farmer or the chiropractor looking after the soil and nurturing the field before harvesting its bounty. So let's have a look at being a go-giver. And there's 4 essential steps to getting through in the eyes of the innate model. Now, within this then, the motto is like, you can't outgive the universe. The law of the land is that it will always give back tenfold. It'll always feed back. Not always at the same time, not at the time that we think it might be or should be, but it always gives us back. As long as we nurture, as long as we give into it. So let's have a look then at the innate model structure as applies in this particular context here. So this is the innate model. If you're not familiar with it, then let's just give you an orientation here, looking at the vertex of the skull, the right side, the left side, the hindbrain and the forebrain. All right, so we effectively have 4 quadrants that are unique in their function and give us 4, if you like, character styles or preferences. So we'll have a look at this in the context that that the flow is always from an idea through to a validation of that idea, through to a practice of that idea, and through to an expansion of the idea. And this is where the innate model comes in relative to Quest and the way that we work with our people. So if we look at what we call quadrant 1, quadrant 1 is the upper right quadrant, big picture, forward thinking. So the key element of this, and the key element of someone who's doing law of the land really well, is that we're curious. So curiosity drives invention. It drives the essence of who we are as chiros. If we're curious about people, if we're truly wondering about what makes them tick, is how is this person put together, how do the different parts work, and if we're willing to take them out into the future, into the land of imagination, and give them hope, we can then allow that person to have a picture for themselves that is, and a vision for themselves that is way bigger than maybe society's given them, maybe than their familial heritage has given them, maybe more than their schooling has given them. And it gives them an opportunity there to create a resonance that attracts in all sorts of stuff which is useful for them and for their life. So that's the element of quadrant 1. The element of quadrant 2 is where we go across and we say, okay, what are the facts here? So quadrant 2 is about the data, and it's saying, okay, what is it that is so about this particular situation? So when we're working with a person, it's about lack of judgment. It's about saying, okay, I'm going to put my prejudices on hold here, because this person has a reality that is maybe different from mine. And so when we work within the law of the land, we flow with the environment that is being presented right now. we're not shoulding and shouldn'ting and looking at things that are by our history and our knowledge erroneous. We're looking at things as they are, and the question is it useful? So the person who receives hope or gets hope going within themselves are willing to look at their judgments if we don't judge them. So as a chiropractor, if we can be a safe haven for a person to allow them to go through their own process, then that's a huge uplifting moment for them, and they get to break through many old beliefs that are no longer useful, or maybe never were useful. Probably were useful at one stage, but have soon outlived their usefulness. So that we then have this opportunity then to go into quadrant 3, as we all do. And quadrant 3 is our happy place as chiropractors generally. This is the practical side. Right, so the practical delivery, it's allowing ourselves to be of use to people. And if we are willing to be the helper, and we're willing to work with a person in their model of the world, with lack of judgment, installing hope as we go, we're a go-giver. This is giving. It's allowing a flow. But we're not giving of ourselves. We're giving of the above, down, inside out. We're giving of a higher source. We're channeling, if you like. So this is the essence of healers. And the right posterior brain is an area that connects with people, that loves people, that works with people, that likes to help people. And that's a giving situation. Now, the cool part about this is that every one of these levels, there's an equal and opposite. And there's no different here with this one up here, which is quadrant 4, and that's about change. So quadrant 4 is always wanting to reinvent, to make something different, to make it faster, slower, more capable, smoother, whatever the case may be. Whatever's been presented at the practical level, it wants to change it, and this is the mother of invention. And the key element of this is that it's playful. So the chiropractor who is playful, the chiropractor who is willing to challenge the status quo, is willing to challenge people in ways that are supportive, and there's an oxymoron there, I guess. It's like, how can you do that? So it's a paradox to be playful, supportive, and challenging, and yet the dynamic between the quadrant 3 and the quadrant 4 is what we get here. And this allows for more development, more utilization, and sets up a new set of ideas because it pricks up our curiosity, and we want to go for this new concept. And this is where we once again go into the future. We find something that's possible. We then look at it from a point of there's hope here for you. And so the chiropractor that is able to keep these ticking over continuously, it's not a set and forget. It's constantly reinventing ourselves. It's constantly being curious. It's constantly holding back on our judgment. It's constantly being a helper and a healer, and obviously bringing play into it. So our motto on this one is work is play with a purpose. Everything we do must be playful, and that vibration then keeps all of us young and happy and productive. So it's a pretty cool place to be in an environment, a chiropractic environment, full stop, but particularly a chiropractic environment that embraces these elements. So that's the nature of being a go-giver. So this certainly has some physical, practical ramifications, and we see this every day when we're working with our people within Quest. And Guy Jeff comes to mind because he absolutely filled his book, and when he first came in for coaching, it was his practice was really languishing, and he was concerned about the lack of follow through with people. He was concerned about the fact they weren't referring. He was concerned about the fact that they weren't there to gain the real advantage and the benefits that he was able to give them. So we introduced him to the skills that we've just given you a little taste for here. And he initially thought it was, there's some mysterious sort of woo-woo, but he soon realised that it was a primary function that is apparent in all of life, and that he'd admitted to include this in his practice. So he, like many others, apply this approach consciously. It's a skill, and his practice got legs. And he wasn't so much from new people coming in. The referrals had increased. It was more that people were following through with their care, and this obviously filled his book in no time. So the states of being a go-getter and being a go-giver are learned states. I can't emphasize this enough. It's like we learn to do these things. And so if we're doing a go-getter and we're seeing the ramifications of that and the frustrations of it, then how about being a go-giver? Yeah, so go-givers always look for the next opportunity to give. Knowing you can't outgive the universe, a go-giver will, that go-giver part of us, because we all have it, is looking for opportunities to enhance, to support, to develop, to empower. And this can be in any area, such as with your practice members, but also with your investments and your investment strategies, with your development of your team, with the development of your business, with the development of people who are entering the profession, sending heaps of people off to chiropractic college, and of course your development of chiropractic colleges and those things in this world that sit with your values and are going to return multifold as long as they are given some attention and given some nurturing. So that's the name of the game here, making sure that we have this go-giver attitude and we learn the skills and develop the skills and keep practicing the skills that will allow us to develop this area even stronger. So if you'd like some help in this area, then just hit reply with the word clarity and let's make a plan together.